Hey everybody, how's it going? This video is going to be about 45 minutes long. This is the third day hanging out with Steven, or Steven hanging out with me, or whatever. And again, we caught a bunch of trains. So I'm not going to break this one into two videos. I'm just going to leave it in a long format. I hope you folks who like just watching a lot of trains, I hope this works out for you. Sorry for you who don't. But man, I have so many videos that I need to get up. Another day with another couple where Steven joined us. April and May are always the most popular months for people who want to go out on these tours because the weather's great. And so we did that. I've got a tour of the Kingsburg Depot, rail bike adventure that me and Jennifer went on, and then upcoming this weekend, Jennifer and I are going to Niles Canyon to do that. And then in July, we're going to Idaho for her niece's wedding. Then we're going to drop down into Colorado and do the Georgetown Loop and the Durango Silverton. And next week, I am going to Oregon to Train Mountain for the Triennial. So I've got a lot of stuff coming up, and not a lot of time for editing videos and trying to get. So these things may be out of order. They may be way behind. I had somebody say this last one I posted, snow in June. Well, that was actually shot at the beginning of April. So yeah, some of the things aren't going to look like they do right now because there's not green anymore. But anyway, got a lot of cool stuff coming up. Plus other clips of trains that I've shot, a lot of drone stuff that I've got to get up. So anyway, here we go with the third day of Steven. All right, now here at East Woodford and the fourth crossing of Tehachapi Creek, and the weather is much nicer today than it was last time we were up here. And this is day 3 of hanging out with Steven. We were up Tuesday and Wednesday, and then Steven left, was going to go meet a friend flying out from Kentucky, another rail fan. He was going to pick him up in Ontario, but that guy ran into the weather at his home and was not able to leave. So Steven did Cajon Pass and Barstow out in the desert on Thursday and Friday. I played golf Thursday. I rested yesterday, and then Steven came back last night, spent the night, and we are out here today. Sorry about that, lost my balance. And this is one of the trains that gets manned helpers put on it, on the rear of it at Mojave. And they are cut off on the fly at Cameron. Something I haven't caught yet, but I did share a short that my friend Carter Green sent to me of that happening. I want to get out there and get a drone shot of that, but it's been so hard to time things. A lot of you who are familiar with my channel and my situation over the last few months know that my time constraints have been a real pain lately. This is the fourth crossing of Tehachapi Creek. This is the one that, when it gave way in the 1932 flood, wiped out most of Keene, along the section that's along the tracks. Down where the Keene Cafe and all that is was okay. The creek runs back behind that quite a way, but it wiped out the El Rita, that flood wiped out all 7 crossings of the Tehachapi Creek. And at some point I want to do a history piece on that. Again, time. Alright, first train of the day for me. I think this was about the 4th train of the day for Steven. He went out and shot a couple while I was loading the truck up and getting gas. Oh, he came up here to Waylong, Steven, over there. And other than the tracks being opposite, this is exactly what happened with us the other day when it was raining and snowing. Got this westbound, gonna stop here at the top end of Waylong. We can hear the eastbound coming up through Woodford. He just gave us a salute, but I didn't have my camera on. Love the friendly crews, guys. If you're a train crew and you think that rail fans and videographers, people like me, don't appreciate that, they sure do. They really like that, and it's very cool of you to do that stuff for us. I'm standing in a bad spot to see the loop itself. That will catch us meat. may not know, haven't heard me say before, bells are specifically for people on the ground. They're for pedestrians, work groups, and crews are required to ring the bell when passing people on the ground. If they're passing a work group, they also have to honk their horn. A lot of them will do it for anybody on the ground. Guess that just depends on the crew. Looks like a full auto rack. Well, a full train of an auto rack. The cars appear to be empty. I know the purists don't like the graffiti, but some of it's actually pretty cool. That one has cars in it. You know, these ones down on the further back in the train are loaded. Absolutely beautiful today. Hard to believe that 3 days ago it was cold, rainy, windy, snowing, muddy, and just generally miserable. Alright, here are the URLs, my PayPal and my Patreon. If you can help the channel out that way, I'd sure appreciate it. Alrighty then, we'll see what happens next. Alright. A lot of weird stuff going on. We are at East Bealville. That was Tunnel 2 that the train just came out of, and you can see that there is a westbound UP stopped up there. There is a westbound, the westbound BNSF that we saw up at Waylong is stopped at Bealville, at the facing signal at Bealville on the main. There's a train at Caliente that stalled this morning up here by Tunnel 2 somewhere and had to back down onto double track at Caliente. They've been sitting there since this morning. Steven said he saw that train sitting there when he came through here on his way up to Keene this morning. So, this train, I'm assuming, is going to go, he's going in the siding at Bealville. He'll go up, stop, then they'll run this guy out, this UP, run him west, down around the train that is stalled, and they are bringing, I spoke to the engineer and he said they're bringing another unit up out of Bakersfield to get that train up the hill. So I'm assuming their plan right now, and you know me, I love to speculate, they'll stop this guy in the siding, run this westbound down around that train at Caliente, then run the westbound that's stopped on the main between Bealville and Cliff, and get him around that train down there, unless they can get that train going first. Maybe they'll bring him up. I don't know. We'll have to see how that time works out. The fellow I talked to said that the other unit was supposedly on the way up already. So that train does have a DPU on the rear of it, so I'm sure they'll bring that up and put it on the back behind that, and that end of that train is down right at the beginning of the Caliente Creek Narrows. And this is the train that was sitting up at Bealville. And we did come down the entrance to the Narrows, and that is the DPU of the train that is waiting for assistance. And right there, once you get past those signals, that is where you actually go down into the Caliente Creek Narrows, where it gets really narrow. Well, we saw a train on the Edison cam, but this guy was ahead of him, so we come up here to Tunnel 1. Steven had never been up here before, but there's that light power. My speculation was totally incorrect about them just sticking that unit on the DPU. At the back of the train, they have run him around, and we'll back him against the front. And then we'll see if this guy leaves. We know for sure there's an eastbound behind this light engine. So, yeah, I guess we'll see what happens. You can see the light power backing up against the train. Now I can hear this other eastbound coming up the number 2 track. Coming up out of the Narrows. Now they'll have to put this train together, get everything hooked up, get the air up, do all that stuff before they get this train going. So they'll probably run this other eastbound around this guy while he's doing all that. I don't know, you know me, I've been speculating all day on this stuff going on, and I've been wrong a couple times already. Alright, well, here comes this other guy. Looks like he's chugging right along. And I'm sorry if I get not only am I zoomed in, there are flies everywhere. All it takes is one day of warm weather and they are out in force. Getting in my eyes, just like that, in my nose, in my mouth. And also, I apologize if this is a little blurry. It's hard for me to tell because I don't have my reading glasses on. If I'm wearing my regular glasses, I can just take them off and see the screen just fine. But when I'm zoomed out like this, it's hard to see the screen. Everything looks blurry. You can see the rear DPUs still down at Caliente. Go. See the rear and the head end. Into Tunnel 1. At the west portal of Tunnel 5. This is the same train we caught at Tunnel 1. Highway 58 way up there. Tunnel 5 should be a good smoke show. It was out of Tunnel 3. Nice. The westbound that we missed was going into Caliente through the horseshoe curve just as this one was arriving here, and the train that they had to put the extra unit on is still sitting at Caliente, I'm assuming, waiting for that last westbound to go by. But you can see them from up here, and there that train is down at Caliente. I haven't heard any chatter on the radio about what's going on. That westbound's long by that guy. So, I don't know, maybe they're having more problems with that train. And we are standing right where Tunnel 6 once was. They were already in the process of doing the excavation to daylight Tunnel 6 when the 1952 earthquake hit. So they just went on ahead and did it while they had the men and the equipment here. and moved the west end of cliff right down there in front of the tunnel. I have some really cool 8x10 black and whites that a subscriber sent me that have photos of it just before. You can see the changes. I don't know how far apart they were taken, but it was the work was obvious. It was underway, and it was before the earthquake. One of them's got a cab forward going through. Really cool photographs. I'll drop them in here so you can see them. You have the eastbound with the cab forward on it, going through the cut just east, outside of the portal of Tunnel 5. And here you can see that that cut is now gone. It's been removed. And if you look up to the left at Tunnel 6, you'll see they've started the excavation for daylighting that tunnel. And I just thought I'd throw this one in here because if you think the engines do smoke shows now, they ain't got nothing on steam. All right, well, let's see what happens with this train down at Caliente. Okay, this is definitely the last train I'm going to shoot today. Other than the train that is down at Caliente, which is having issues with its brake system, with the air. They're waiting for the rapid responder to go down there and respond. I don't know how long that's going to take. This is the last westbound train on any of the train cams from Mojave this way, and there are no eastbounds through Edison on the train cam. And it's about 5:30 in the afternoon, and I think I'm going to get going after this. Steven parked his car at Keene. We met there this morning at the Keene Cafe. So I'm going to run him up there so he can get his car, and he is going to San Diego tonight. He's got some family down there. So he'll be off gallivanting around down in Southern California watching trains for a while, and he can come back up on Thursday possibly, he said. Besides that, the sun's getting in a pretty bad position for shooting anything but westbound trains right now. It's funny, when we were here on Wednesday, which was 3 days ago, Bear Mountain was covered in snow. It is, I don't know what the temperature is right now. I guess I'd say it's about 70. It's been like nice and sunny all day. A little cool up in Tehachapi this morning, or up at where we were the furthest north, furthest east we went was Waylong. Sorry, I'm gonna brain fart. But man, it has been beautiful today. All right, well, that will conclude 3 days of Chasing Trains with Steven. He's going to try to come back next Thursday. So if he makes it back then, we'll do one of these again. But for now, keep shooting me the ideas. Drop me comments below. Shoot me an email at motorpoet59@gmail.com. Like, share, subscribe, click on the bell if you want to be notified of future content. And I'll see you all later.